Hello everyone and welcome to the next video. In this video, what we're going to be going over is reviewing comparables. Okay, what comparables are in the real estate industry is looking at a home that is successful, so an Airbnb that is proven to be successful, and then comparing that with a vacant unit that you want to turn into an Airbnb and confirming that they're apples to apples and not apples to oranges. Okay, so we want to make sure that these guys are comparable. So we were looking for the successful Airbnbs. What are the common features there? And then comparing that with the home that we're going to potentially turn into an Airbnb. Okay, so we got to make sure that they match up so that we're not getting this wrong. Now that the objective I just explained that there. Now one thing I do want to mention is that the issue is that the average annual revenue that we've been calculating this entire time and putting so much work into actually figuring out and getting down to that max monthly rent is great. However, what the problem is that it gets us to a point where we can know where we'll be able to find success. But then this part is really what separates successful and unsuccessful people. This is the ability to look at a potential listing, potential Airbnb, a potential place you're going to turn into an Airbnb, and know if it has all of the right traits and features to actually be a successful Airbnb within the area that you already are looking and below the max rent that you're trying to get, right? So this is a very, very important step. It really does make a huge difference, and we're going to get into it a little bit more. So here's an example of what I'm referring to. This one on the right hand side is an Airbnb, right? So you can see it's a nice, well taken photo. There's some nice views out here. The kitchen isn't luxury whatsoever, but it is well put together. The top, it's not a perfect place, right? It's really not luxury whatsoever, but we do have stainless steel and nice tile floors. And over here, this is a listing that is available that you can rent out. And you can tell that the kitchen actually isn't that far off, but it is definitely older and it's definitely not as nice. You got the white appliances, the old brown compared to like a newer white look. The floor is like that old panel kind of feel, whereas this is nice tile. And obviously the photo is not taken as well, but you got to look at it for the features that are there. And I also looked a little bit more into this listing, and the living room is super tiny, whereas in this living room or this Airbnb, there's a nice big living room, right? And this one has a nice views of downtown, and I saw this one and it did not either. It was in a high rise, but it wasn't really like in a good spot where it was actually showing anything nice. So these are the features of a Airbnb that is successful, and this is the features of a home that could potentially be an Airbnb, but they're not very comparable. They're close, but they're not like really there, right? They're missing a couple of things, and so that's what we're trying to understand is what is it about this place that does so well, and what is it, and how can we find that in the places that are available currently? Okay, so what we want to do is we want to search for those common features amongst the successful Airbnbs. And as an example of this, down in Scottsdale, Arizona, what you need to be successful is a pool. But along with a pool, you need a pool heater. So that's the huge difference there, right? If you're just looking at all these comparables and different prices, you can get you can find a 4 bedroom, 2 bath that's under the rent that you're looking for. But if it doesn't have a pool, it's never going to make the amount of money that you need it to make, right? And it's not comparable with all the homes that are successful, because all the homes that are successful have pools. However, if you dive even deeper, you realize that all the homes that are successful, that are like truly successful, they actually have pool heaters as well. That's a mistake I made. I didn't realize that until I really, really dove into it. So I think it's very important that you understand every single last feature that will make a home successful before you even get a home, okay? Or before you even start looking at the different homes that are available, because I don't even want you to get attached to a place before you've actually even got a chance to review what makes it successful and what doesn't, right? Another good example here as well is in Chicago. If you have a 4 bedroom, 2 bath, you need a dining room. And the reason you need a dining room is because every single home that has a dining room is actually a fairly large home. They didn't there's a lot of homes in Chicago that got rid of their dining room and turned it into another bedroom just to make some extra revenue. But the thing is that may work for an annual rental, But as an Airbnb, it doesn't, because a 4-bedroom is hosting like 10 people at a time, and they need a lot of space, right? So if there's a dining room, the odds are that there's going to be a dining room, a nice good sized living room, there's going to be good space, all this stuff. It's going to just be a good sized home. And that's a common trait that I realize that you need. And I've turned down homes that do not have a dining room but are well below my price range, right? Because I understand this now. And so I want you to be able to understand your own area in the sections that you want to look at the most, to the fine little tune, to be able to actually pinpoint what's going to make you successful and what's not. Okay. So the tasks that we're going to go through for the comparables, is we're going to create a list of common features of the successful Airbnbs in the area that you're looking. I should note that you want to pick, a couple of different areas, maybe like the spots that you find that have like the highest profit potential, right? And you want to, start really looking at those places rather than just everything. Okay, so be direct with what you want to start with, and really understand those spots the best. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a list of the common features of the unsuccessful Airbnbs in the exact same area that you're looking, right? So like I was referring to with Scottsdale, Arizona, if a place didn't have a pool, they weren't successful. If they did have a pool, they were successful, right? But they were more successful than the people without a pool. But if you had a pool heater, then you were truly successful. Okay. There's a bunch of other features as well, but that was just a really big one that's very easy to spot, and you should definitely know, because it made such a huge difference, right? So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna hop into the next video, and I'm actually gonna do this with you. I'm gonna go through it, and I'm gonna start looking for all those common features, and show you exactly how I'm looking at these listings. And I'm gonna just try and talk as much as I can, so you can pull in and really know what I'm thinking as I'm looking through these Airbnbs, okay? And like what's important, what's not important. Okay, so I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video.